Everybody that's in the group, tell your friends, share it. I know, free, don't laugh at me. Tell your friends, share it on Twitter, share it on Facebook. And okay, so today we are in our second day of the Phoenix Group's second annual Writers Teleconference. My partner, Takesha Howard, is having a bit of, I think she's out and about. So instead, look who we have. We have Qiana Thompson. I'm saying your name right because I always call you Q. Qiana Thompson. And she is another coach, a fellow coach of mine for Master Force. And last night you heard from Mushim Su. She spoke last night about publishing and things like that. And Qiana, she is one of the coaches. She's a part of our writers group as well for Master Force Press. Yay! We have. Did you know last night we've become writers coaches?
Yeah, that's cool.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? They're like, oh, we have a team of coaches that would support in writing. I said, oh, I guess that'll be us. So we are in that phase of writing, supporting the writing. But one thing I do want to tell you, and something that you just said, hey, Iccha is on. And what you just said is about completing. And that was one of the things that Musha Soup said last night. Musha Soup said last night that when you're writing, complete your manuscript. Hey, Iccha! She said, complete your manuscript, join a writer's group, a writer's circle between 3 to 5 people so you can read with each other, so you can hear what your manuscript sounds like. Put aside money for self-publishing so every time you get a little extra money, you get an envelope for graphic design, editor, printing, marketing. Invest in yourself. When people see you invest in yourself for your writing, they will be more interested in investing in you as well. So that's interesting. So yes, complete your manuscript. And I'm the same way. I do complete your manuscript, but then as far as talking and using your gift, your writing as a platform for speaking. So basically, you want to have teaching points. That's what Mushin Soup said. Teaching points. Have your speech. Anything you're going to talk about when you deliver in front of people, you want to keep it to one page. Keep it simple. You want to be able, so you won't be distracted, but you can have points of references. Free, come on in. Yay, free is coming on in. So then they say look for a speakers bureau, and then I ask questions. So tell me, you said you've been writing blogs. We're going to have Luana. She's going to jump on at after this at 3:00. Now you say you've been writing things. What you're working on now. Talk about that.
So so what I'm working on now is actually it's in editing stage, so it's actually completed, just going back, tweaking and doing some different things like that, but it's done. And it actually started from a Facebook post that I had did a while back when I first started my like page, and I would just put like little small prayers, and then people would like inbox me and like, oh my God, that was so beautiful. Can you do it? Can you do a prayer for me? And I was like, oh, okay, cool, I'll do it. And then I did it, and then I accumulated a lot of them, and then I was like, well, anybody can do this. Like maybe this is something that I can share and I can put it together. And then my friend's daughter died. She was 2 years old, and she had a accident, and she literally got hit by a bus, and her name was Cherish, and so the title of my book became Cherish Life. And so it's been pretty stagnant because I got to the point where I was like, I don't want to edit this good just the way it is, but it does need some, like, even though I'm just writing down what you just said, like having some teaching points and using it as a platform, I'm like, oh dang, I do need to go back and probably tweak some more stuff. So that's where I'm at with that project. And then the other project I actually have not started. I'm about to start it. So what I basically did was I made a questionnaire, and I gave it to each one of the wives, and I had them to answer the questions, and we did a photo shoot. So it's going to be like a photo inspirational book too. So I'm really excited about that one. So I have started. We did have the photo shoot. I made the questionnaire. So now I just kind of have to compile it and get it, right, and complete.
Way cool. I love that idea. And that is another thing that Mooch touched on last night, that there's so much that a lot of us want to say. And if you have a story to tell it, because you have no idea the lives you touch when you write, when you share your talent. You can touch people that you don't even know or can't even imagine that you can touch. And get it out there, get it done. And that reminds me because what I'm writing on, and I was inspired to write on this because of, we coaches. So when I start going through certain things, I start reflecting and going in and sitting with what's happening with me right now. That inspired me to go into nonfiction because I've been writing stories, and I realized that my fiction writing has been an escape. So I put these stories into fiction and not really, okay, that's fine and dandy, in which it tells good stories because I'm a storyteller. But some people need to hear my actual experience. So I'm writing on something about bullying and abuse, and that's going to be done by the end of the year. Y'all want to do that? That'll be finished by the end of the year and whatever. But I think that is really great that you're doing that project with the wives. I can't wait to see. That is real cool. That is really, really great. I'm excited about hearing that because you're saying when you say stories and pictures, I like that is so awesome because she did, Moot said that again, that some books you want to keep it short and sweet because the attention span. Some people especially men, they, like I said, not all men because I see free frowned up, but not all men, but some people just have short attention spans and they just don't want to can't read the whole book. I'm throwing pictures in it. So in a way, you have to do that. And I think that's another reason why I think I started short stories, because I want teenagers to be able to read these mystery books. I want it to be that whatever I write will be something that's going to be incorporated in school, in classes and things like that. So that's what I wanted to, that's kind of what we're building on because we want to teach. We can teach with our writing as well. We can do that. Let's see. I just got a message from Luana. Hold on. So, anybody got any questions?
Yeah, I like your idea about the church women and the pictures and stuff. That sounds really good.
Thank you. But it's not church though.
I'm sorry. At one point, I know I heard church and wives. I'm sorry.
You heard prayer. So my book about prayers is not churchy either. So One of the things I want to take out of, that's why I'm doing a book is that to let people know that you don't have to be churchy or in some type of leadership role in your church in order to pray. Prayer is for everyone and every being, and this is a way of communicating with our higher power. So that's what that book is about. But the women's book is to uplift, inspire, and encourage women. So it comes at different aspects of the women as being a woman, as being a wife, as being a mom, as being a friend. And it touches on all of those little pieces. And then, of course, I have all our beautiful pictures in there as well. But thank you.
I like that.
Way cool. Hi, Iccha.
Hi. How are you?
Thank you. Fine. Thank you for joining us. Do you like the blab? Do you like this? Way cool, right?
Yeah, this is fun. I think did I just love you or something? I'm putting
I'm like
everybody.
You guys high fives or something.
Yeah, we're going. You get the little white.
This is so cute. I love this.
Isn't it cute? Isn't it cute?
Click to give props. Okay.
Yeah. You give
everybody some props. I'm gonna give some to myself.
Thank you.
I don't think I can't give myself no props.
No, you can't give yourself props. Now, people gotta give you props. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, thank you. I see. I'm getting them all lined up. Thank you. See?
I like even numbers. So every time I see an odd number, I'm gonna click on it. Okay, there we go. We even numbers.
Oh, you are so funny. Yes, everybody have even numbers except for you.
Please stop that. You just did that. Stop that. That's distracting. They doing that on purpose. It's not funny.
That is so funny.
That's not funny, Free. Well, anyway, what I was getting at, Qiana, when you started writing, what inspired you to get into writing?
Oh wow, I've honestly been writing since I was a young person. I remember being like like very young, like probably like 4 or 5, writing poems. I started out with writing poems and also journaling. Before I knew what journaling was, I had a diary. And I would write down my feelings and stuff. So I've been writing for a long time. It didn't actually hit me that I was a writer until I was in high school, and we had to pick a major in high school, and our choices were, I forgot what they were, but journalism was one of them. And I didn't quite really understand what that was. And I was talking to my mom about it. She said, well, journalism. And I was like, what? No, Mom. She said, you're a writer. You've been writing all your life. Pick that one. And I was like, okay. And I did, and I loved it. It actually was my first major in college, too, was journalism.
Wow.
I interned at NBC and had got to meet Art Norman, and that was like really cool. And I wrote for my college paper and my high school paper. So I've just been doing it. And then along my path, I started counseling, and I took a different route, but I've always loved writing. And so hence why I have 5,000 projects, writing projects not done. So right. I love to write. I just, since I was born to write.
Wow. So if you can give, say 3 tips in writing and marketing what you do as far as writing is concerned, what would be the 3 tips you would give for other writers out there that want to sell their?
I think for me, always is going to be yourself. I think that's one of the biggest things that I've learned in my life, as far as just myself, period. Anything that I do to be myself. So especially in writing, to be yourself and to know your market, to know who you're writing a book for. Like, I know who my 2 books that I'm working on right now, I know who they're for. My prayer book is for the person who does not believe that prayer is for them. That's who that book is for. My wise book, my inspirational book for women, is for the woman who is frustrated, who is overwhelmed, who, just doesn't know that you can do all these things and then some. You are great just because you are you. And, this too shall pass. So knowing who your market is, who you're making a book for, knowing your market, I think is good. And the third one, I know like a lot of times when we're writers, we tend to be on the shyer side. Don't be shy. Like, you're the expert of your life. No one can tell you that you wrote something wrong or you should have wrote it this way. To a certain extent, some stuff, but your story is your story. So just own it.
That is awesome. That is way cool. So Free, you've written a book, and we're gonna talk to you at 4:00. But as far as marketing is concerned, what would be 3 things that you would do for marketing?
As far as marketing?
Yeah, marketing your writing.
Well, of course, there's, social media, and you want to do your own book page. Take advantage of all the, social media sites, Twitter, Tumblr, etc. Go out to, there aren't that many, but go out to brick and mortar stores. Create postcards, and at the very least, leave postcards. But if you can talk to them about getting your book in the store, you should at least visit them. Writers groups, online things such as this. This is actually a new marketing strategy that's a viable strategy, because you're reaching people and they're actually able to see and talk to the author that will interest someone and perhaps picking up your book. Working with other people, joint venture partnerships where, you market someone's book and then they market yours. Even collaborating is a form of marketing in terms of along that same vein of joint venture partnership. So there's a few ways, get business cards, of course, bookmarks, anything that will put your vision, your words, your logo in front of people um, is a good idea. Consistency is a good word to use in marketing. And one of the things that we as artists, we tend to focus on the creativity, but we forget about those business aspects. So that was a good question. Oftentimes, what we need to do, if we can afford it, is to get the right people in place that can help. Oftentimes, we do focus on the creativity, and just like you said, we often have multiple projects. So one of the things I would definitely recommend for an artist is to try to find those right people that can help you and that focus on that those are their strengths, so that we can focus on what we do. And there are plenty of people out there that will help you, marketing resources such as schools. Young people that are studying marketing make excellent assistants. They make excellent school projects because they have to do internships and they have to turn in work. So any artist and entrepreneur, don't forget to look to the schools for assistance because they need the experience.
Way cool. That is a very good piece of information because I was just talking to someone about get an intern to assist me with day-to-day things, but I hadn't thought nothing about a book. I had thought about, like with writing and things, and that is another piece of inspiration and encouragement because you have someone that kind of like an apprentice, but they also an extra set of eyes and ears. They can help you. So that is a very good piece of information for others to take along with them. And Iccha has she had a cookbook, right? The Reluctant Vegetarian.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what inspired you to do that when you created it?
This I'm so grateful that you're doing this because this is so inspiring to me and helping me circle back around the block because I think as artists and as writers, sometimes we could, like you said, we may have several projects going and then sometimes certain pieces may get lost in the way. And so originally why I was inspired to do the Reluctant Vegetarian cookbook is because everybody that knows me knows I'm the reluctant vegetarian. I am vegetarian most of the time. Unless they cook it right, then I gotta taste it. But anyway, I digress. But for a majority of the time, I was a strict vegetarian, and I really wanted to let people know that even though you might be a strict vegetarian, if your family is not, cook food that's going to be hearty enough and that they'll really enjoy, and that it's really simple, and it creates a connection. So I could see that like everything that I do, it has some kind of a thread of that. Creating some connection or building some kind of a relationship. So part of the thing that I really was focused on when I first wrote that text was getting people to come back to the table. Come to the table, have dinner with your children, have lunch with your babies, go and have lunch with your mom, hang out with your friends and loved ones, and really just sit down and break bread. Because man, it's just so nurturing and healing. And so that's what my original inspiration was in writing that book. And then I could see that it just morphed into a lot of different other books that I wrote. There was a book that I wrote that was called a dinner party story book. So it was combining my love of creating dinner parties and events and then telling the story of what it feels like to me as a chef and as a creative being when I'm creating an event. It's like a story for me. You know what I mean? It's like, I first saw these beats that I've never seen before, and then I got excited, and then I was thinking, wow, what if I do this and that? So it was a dinner party storybook, literally letting the little girl in me play and tell the story of how I get inspired as a chef. So that was one. And then the other one that I created that was just in that vein was the mini, like a bunch of mini, MANY, mini series. And it was what my goal was with that was to give people a little book that would have these really compelling, beautiful pictures in it, and say that you literally could take this book with you to the grocery store and just get the ingredients and create that thing tonight. You know, so that was my inspiration for that. And the reason why I said that another reason why I said that I'm excited that you're doing this is because those books have gone to a certain level. And I would love to make them available to more people, because the original inspiration I had when I created them, I know that like if you start flipping through it, you'd be like, man, I want to make this. Mm-hmm. So it's just reigniting my soul connection, right? It's reigniting my passion to want to share the things that I love with people. So I could feel like a resurgence or a reissuing of those books coming as a result of like sharing this time with you. I'm actually supposed to be working on a project right now, ain't that right, Qiana? That I'm doing tonight. I ain't even gonna front. I'm kind of like working at the same time. And stuff. But I really wanted to come and support and be a part of what you're doing, because this is so exciting for me. Right? Right. The writers know we be multitasking. Qiana got her head down right now because she works.
I'll keep books around me. I got all types of stuff around me.
So I actually am working at the same time. Qiana, you'll be so excited for me. I told you 5 o'clock I'm gonna have that manuscript all done.
Yeah, I can't wait for that tonight too. I'm gonna jump in before we leave tonight because Matt playing at a club out here, so I have to jump in and get ready and all that.
I love how we be multitasking. It's so cool. What we're talking about is tonight I'm doing an online class, kind of like what we're doing now, for essential oils and the chakras. So we'll be talking about the different chakras and some essential oils that support them. So that's what we're talking about. And Qiana is my partner on that one. So we'll be
yeah, way cool. And essential oils free can be for men too. I can see you get that look on your face like, okay, men use essential oils.
Yeah, they sure do.
Free. Well, anyway, Iccha, and what I really love, it says audio only, Iccha, your camera doing something. What I do love about your books, I remember the smaller book. I remember that. And the one you did, and I thought it was an amazing idea. So I would be so excited if once you relaunch that because I love your little books and the pictures. I just love the way you put things together with your your little dinner parties, and I love that stuff. That's so I don't know. I just get into that. So I do really appreciate you for jumping on. I thank you for jumping on. Actually, this is a very informative session and so unexpected, but that's where all the surprises and wonderful things come from. Yeah. Unexpected stuff.
Yeah, that's what the juice is. That's how come I knew I had to get online. It's so funny that you said that. Qiana was just joking me about that today. Qiana literally just left my house. We were having a meeting, and she said somebody brought some bread, and she was like, Iccha, what plate do you want this on? Because I know how you do. Right? Because I want it on a particular plate and put the little butter out and swirl the butter.
Right.
I just love to serve my friends like that. I just do. I always have. Even when I was a little girl, I like doing it. So
you know what? And I loved it because when you did it for me, I came over with that bread, that raisin bread. Oh my goodness. I still can't find that bread unless I come back to Chicago and go where you went to get that bread. But I remember when you came, you had your little serving tray with the clementines. It was so awesome. And to me, you know what? That is actually a real great piece of writing as well, because it's all about the setup. And to me, that right there stayed in my mind. And being a writer, those type of things you remember because you can write about it. You know what I mean? And it's just, you don't know how you affect people, good or bad, when you do things like that. And I remember the serving tray, and it actually took me back to being a kid, because I remember doing that. My mother used to do tea every day. My mother, I think she wanted to be British. I don't know. But we used to do tea every day around 4 o'clock. Even when I came home, my mother would set out tea. We had dining room, living room, all types of rooms. And in a particular part of the house, I think it was the family room, we had tea in there in the window. And she did the same thing. So I want to write up, that's kind of things you want to write about. And I really do, you know.
This is the book that I took out because this is the book that started off. I started reading this book when I was a little girl. This is the Emily Post Blue Book of Social Order. This is what I was reading when I was a little girl.
I remember that.
My friend had a copy of it, and it somehow ended up over our house. And I would read this book when I was a little girl, and it talks about the well-appointed home. I'm growing up on 6 different Cottage Grove, okay? I'm in a hood. And I'm sitting up here like, when you want to fix a breakfast tray for your weekend guests, you know, this and that and the third, you should ask them before they go to bed, do they want their breakfast in their separate room quarters, or would they like to breakfast as a verb? I need you to hear that. Would they like to breakfast with the rest of the group? I was like, this is right here. I'm 8 years old. I'm like, ow.
All right. Isn't that something?
A vintage copy of it when I got to be an adult.
I love that. I remember that book. I think my mother had that. That's funny that
I know she did, because when you said 4 o'clock tea, I know your mama. She was here with me.
She had to have had that book. And it's interesting, you picked up books like that. I'm gonna tell you what books I picked up as a kid. I picked up my mother's business, like little shorthand book. I picked up the World Atlas, you know, science. I wanted to be a scientist. I picked up different other books. I picked up other stuff. And that's interesting how you say that as a child, how we are influenced, and it comes out as adults. And it's so amazing. It's so beautiful to go back and even look at those memories and like, yeah, and you want to write it, you know, you share that with the world and other people appreciate it. You know, I appreciate that story. I really do. I forgot all about that book.
When you come over, I'll let you look at it. It's such a
yes.
It's from this one is 1945 when this book was published.
Oh my gosh.
And so I was able to find it. It wasn't expensive at all, but I knew that I really wanted to honor that part of me that really loved that as a little girl. And it was even shocking to me because I was like, yeah, this is what you were reading. Because as an adult now, I'm looking at it a certain way. But as a kid, whatever you like is just what you grab. If it's around you, you just grab it.
Yeah. Yeah. That is awesome. And I was one of those children that I barely read kids' stories. I think I was out of reading kids' stories at 6. I started grabbing other, like I said, big books. I wanted to read what other people were reading. The Dick and Jane books was like, what? Like, it's only one sentence. It's only 2 pages long. What are you? And I did drive the teachers crazy, but I was just one of those type of kids that I gravitated towards the bigger pictures stuff. I wanted to read what the big people were reading. I wanted to read the newspaper. I wanted to, what y'all talking about. That's what I was interested in. But looking back on that, and like you said, we're back to marketing. Marketing your book is really, I guess you have to know your target. Like you said, you all said about knowing your target. So Iccha, when you were doing your book, how did you know when you marketed your book? What did you do to even share that at the time when you had those books?
One of the things that was most important on my mind at the time was that I really wanted vegetarian cooking, or just cooking in general, to really be accessible to people. Because one of the things that I reckon, I got my snack in the back. I got a little hungry. I forgot I had that back there. But anyway, I could see that people would, because of the way I might present something or whatever, they might think that it was challenging to make it, or that it would be hard to do. So what my goal was, more than anything, was really to market to people that felt like they didn't have enough time, or maybe that they did not have enough know-how, or that cooking vegetarian food was going to be either not flavorful or expensive. So I really wanted to, so what that ended up looking like for me is targeting people that look like me, but don't know that we just all the same. They be like, oh, well, she, you know, she do that. She do the little vegetables. She do this and that and the third and whatever. Yeah, and we're still the same. So let me show you how we're the same. You know, let me show you that if you, you know, fix it this way, that it'll be just as enjoyable and everything, but it's going, you know, it's going to have a little, you know, I put a little stank on it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like people would ask me all the time stuff like, how you going to make some greens without some boiling meat? That's real old school. Or like new school is, how you going to make some greens without some turkey tail?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're going to make them delicious because all you are really looking at is flavor. So how else do you develop flavor that does not involve working with, you know, animal products? So the way you develop flavor is spices, aromatics, and vegetables. And you just learn how to work with them. So when I started showing people how to work with mushrooms, how to work with, you know, get your onions and garlic at specific times, that kind of thing made a difference. And it was just as easy as making a pot of greens with, you know, I grew up, we would make a pot of greens with some ham hocks or some because I'm like that. It's the same thing. You make some flavored liquid and you put your clean greens down in there and you hook it up. So you could either, you know. So that was really my goal, to really target people that thought that this was not accessible to them, but that were interested in it.
Got it.
Yeah, so I was able to find a good niche in doing that by doing the demonstrations I found a place that was right in between two neighborhoods. So at that time I was living in Hyde Park, but grew up in Woodlawn. So between Hyde Park and Woodlawn, you got the 61st Street Farmers Market. People come walking down 63rd Street, and you know my light-skinned brethren, they'll walk from anywhere. So they would walk from Hyde Park over to there. So I would have a really good mixture of aunties, cousins, and so forth. And I'm saying that because that's how we see each other, right? And then, you know, the other people that would come around. And so that was one of the best things I could have ever done, to agree to do those farmer market demonstrations. It took a little something from me, but it was so worth it because they would, when I talked to the vendors, they would give me products a little bit, a couple of things I had to buy. But the thing that was most valuable was really touching the people that were a part of the group that I wanted to reach for my books. So when I would be doing other things like, you know, vending somewhere and doing different other things, they would be looking for me.
Good. Okay. So basically what I'm hearing all of you are saying, when you have a platform of your expertise, it's actually great to market. You can market your books because of your expertise and what you're involved in. Because it sounds like to me, we having a platform, then people will be more drawn to you instead of you just not starting out. You write a book and people don't even know who you are, and you want them to buy your book. They don't know you, you know, and that's extra challenging to sell something that people don't know much about you. So that is a very good piece of information that you just shared, saying that, you know, you did what you did and people were looking for you. That is that's a marketing in itself. You didn't have to go and stand out there and have people like, hey, buy my book. Hey, you know, look at me. You actually had a platform, and that is really cool. Thank you, Iccha, for it's even in my number. Couldn't do it. I was going through some free stop it. So I'm sorry, you all, I got a little sidetracked. But that was a very good piece of information to even to share, so people out there would know that your platform actually helps you sell your book, just like what Rita was saying yesterday. We were saying about speaking. Your book is your platform for speaking. People start reading your book and they see your expertise. They reading what you do. They are inspired by what you do. Then that's what opens up speaking engagements. That's what opened up people, TED Talks. I didn't realize how huge TED Talks was until I started engaging with it over 2 years ago, and I started seeing it. And most of these people are very influential with writing, blogging, you know, philanthropy work, whatever the case may be. So I do want to thank you guys for chiming in on this hour. This is really awesome. I'm excited. Any last words, any questions before we go? Because I have to get ready for the 3 o'clock hour with Luana. Does anybody have anything any extra added bonuses to tell anyone as far as marketing your book is concerned?
Nope, just keep writing. Don't be intimidated. One of the things that I think is easy to lose sight of is that you do have your own particular voice and you do have your own things to say. And if your message is delivered well, people will listen. Even with all the amount of books and stuff out there, it can be intimidating, but still write it, still get it out, because if one person is touched by your story or what you're trying to share, then ultimately as a writer, that's what we reach for, because we're not doing it to get rich and famous. And we're not doing, only 1 out of 1,000,000 of us is going to win a Nobel laureate or anything like that. So the bottom line is you trying to share and touch people. And so stay encouraged, keep chasing the muse, and just keep sharing.
Very good.
I love that.
Yeah, very good. Very, very good. And I do believe that I see that a lot of people do sometimes get caught up in the whirlwind of selling books and becoming this awesomely famous writer and author. Even with TV shows, I talked about that yesterday. The people out there that don't know, that they just don't write books and they write scripts. Like I went into script writing, and the information as far as that is concerned, join a writers group, especially if you're writing scripts. Join a writers group because you get expertise. Other people can follow you, or other people can give you some pointers, or even get some group of people to help you write your script. Because script writing is a whole other thing from writing books. And one of the I can't think of her name, the one that writes Grey's Anatomy, Scandal, all of that. She's been doing it. I didn't realize she had been doing it. She was a staff writer for other series or whatever, but she got into the script writing. And so that kind of thing, the market now is so large. People are doing scripts on all these streaming, movie sites, Netflix, even on YouTube. You can start a series there, but just having a team and group of people, if you have something that you're writing about and you really want people to be inspired by what you do, whether you're writing a book, poetry, blogging, you definitely want your following to be engaged, and engaging them is what is your market. Your market is how you engage with your readers and your listeners. So basically that is that's what you do as far as any writing is concerned. And all the other pointers and information that you guys brought up today, that is something that we can put into the marketing, because all of you have such unique ways of marketing that it works. It actually works. And by me being a new, I guess, published writer myself, I release things on online in ebooks and Kindle. When it's time for me to do print, I would definitely take your advice and take your pointers, because I've never done it before. I've never had people had to go out and sell my book. You know what I mean? I do a lot of social media. Now this is a new step for me, because when the time comes for me to sell and get out there, I'm going to have to hire somebody to do it for me. Because it's a challenge. So I will be definitely taking some of your advice. And I do thank you guys for writing. Any last words or how people can follow you? Qiana, how can people follow you?
Oh, I'm really easy to follow. You can find me on Facebook, Holistic Harmony Inc., Mind, Body, and Soul. I'm on Twitter, Qiana Thompson 1. I don't Twitter much, but I am there. Also, I'm on Instagram, Holistic Harmony Inc.
Cool. Free, what about you? Go ahead.
So I have a page, Writing Under the Influence Media, and Free Thoughts, pretty much, if you put in free, just with one E, are coming up all over the place. Google, Twitter, it's all. I've been working to get it the same across all them platforms. So, yeah, free one.
Way cool. Way cool. And Iccha, how do we get in touch? You know, how we follow you, and especially for tonight. Anybody want to tune in for tonight with what you're doing?
Absolutely. You can find me as the Alchemist's Daughter, an alchemist spelled with a K, Alchemist's Daughter, and that's on Facebook. I am on Twitter at Iccha Devi, ICCHADEVI. And yeah, you could find me around. If you Google Iccha Devi, you will find me. I am around. And yeah, if you go to my page, you'll have links to go to the class that is going to take place this evening. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yes, and yes, all that information will be online. Everybody knows, if you know me, follow me, I'm Goldie Loves You. I kept that as my to keep it uniform all over. I started that in 2010. So Goldie Loves You. You type that in Google, you're going to see my face. You're going to see Phoenix Rise Productions, Echelon Coaching, Master Forge. You're going to see everything that I'm attached to. You're going to see it under Goldie Loves You. And I did that with an intention 5 years ago. That's how people will find me. Goldie Loves You. So I do want to thank you guys once again for tuning in. I just love the fact that the way things flow, because I didn't panic when Takesha didn't show up. I know she's having something going on right now. So I'm thinking like, okay, what do I do? And Free popped up. Then Qiana, like, oh my goodness. Then I saw Iccha. I was like, oh yay, so exciting. And I know I'm silly, but this is so.
Planning stuff is the best stuff. It just happens like that. And we are supposed to be without even knowing it.
Yes, and I love that. So the next hour, we're going to have Lawana Johnson. She's going to come on and talk about blog writing and things like that. You all are welcome to chime back in. Check us out. This recording will be up 24 hours on Blab, but then it'll be up again on YouTube starting Monday. I wanted to run this past my MFC coaches. I am thinking of, but we're going to package some writers' tips and information and points and things like that. So if you all want to get involved in that project, let me know, because I want to package it, have the videos in the package, and charge for it. And part of the proceeds will go towards sponsoring a kid next year to go to Cuba. So it depends on how much money we get. Yeah, depending on how much money we get, we can sponsor more than one. We'll see. We'll talk about that. But that is the intent of this. I want to put this together so we can sponsor a youth to go to Cuba with MFC next year.
I love that. That's so exciting.
Yay.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'll be looking forward to the information about that. Thank you.
Yes. Yeah, so we can do that. So in the next week or two, I want to put all that together, see what type of information you all get, and we can package, and we'll talk about that. And also, Free has Monday nights has Writing Under the Influence. He didn't mention that, but he'll say it again. Writing Under the Influence on Blog Talk Radio at 10 p.m. Central Standard Time on Blog Talk Radio. Yay! So thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Thank you.
Thank you. Love you guys so much. And everybody, we'll be back at the top of the hour with Lawana Johnson for our Phoenix Group 2nd Annual Writers Conference. Peace.
Bye.